Welcome back to Viewer's Voice. For this episode, I'm going to speak on why to me it's important to be dual-minded. Now, there's probably a better vocab word or forever for the term, but my interpretation, definition of being dual-minded is to be able to see both sides. Whether or not you have experienced either side or not, but typically, yeah, whenever you're in a position or a situation, I think the best way to be able to understand it to its full extent and overall get the best kind of solution out of it is being able to see it from the side that you're currently in as well as the side that you're looking at, or that, let's say you're in an altercation, the side that the other person's in. So picture it like this, pretty simple. You're in an argument with your mother, or you're the mother, you're in an argument with your child. Now for the parent, it's way easier to be able to see the side of the child, as you've been a child before, right? And obviously, it's much harder for the child to be in the position of the parent, because you're not going to be in that position until much later, or maybe never if you don't want to be a parent. But regardless, it's going to be much harder to be able to see the side of the parent without having yet been in their shoes. However, both are very important, because you can't get to a proper solution without being understanding where that side's coming from, and getting the other side to understand where you're coming from. But that's why it's very important to have that duality, because you'll get the best you'll get the best solution to the issue. So, and it's also easy to pretty much interpret it. Like you won't ever understand the general concept and idea and the feeling until you're obviously in that position. But regardless of the matter, you can still kind of infer a little bit, or use other people tell you, and kind of like get a feeling of what that may be, right? Get a feeling of what they may be feeling, the position they may be in, and so on. Because the same way you want them to understand where you're coming from, you too need to understand where they're coming from. And when you're able to develop that skill, it's much easier to get through certain troubles in life. At least more in an argumentative state, or it's a really good skill to have, to be a mediator, to be able to get in the middle of something and be able to solve it, right? Because as a parent, you know how it feels to be a parent, and it's not the easiest thing I would imagine, because I'm not a parent myself. But based off what I can infer about parenthood, I kind of come to that conclusion that it's not that easy, because there's no rule books, there's no thing that you're just handed out with and expected to know exactly what to do. However, with a child, you get a little more freedom, as you can. There's a lot more room for error. There's a lot more room to do dumb things and get the slight punishments for it, but not the utmost consequences. For a parent, it's not that much breathing room, because one wrong move can lead to a whole different outcome that may not be reversible, or one mistake can have a very negative impact. That's why it's very important to be able to see that, so that you understand, okay, if I'm arguing for this, is it fair to be arguing for it in the first place, right? I'm arguing for A, B, C, and D, thinking that it's all very easy, and it's all easy to obtain. However, for the position for the position that they're in, that's not the case, and that's very important to see. Or relationships, even if you feel like you're not getting enough attention, you feel your partner is lacking whatever, and you know that in the position that you're in, oh yeah, that's very easy. Like, there's no way that they're not doing this, that, and third. Yes, maybe in your eyes, okay, it's easy. But now flip the roles a little bit and put yourself in their shoes, and kind of imagine, like, okay, as much as I figured this was gonna be so like easy, they're not used to this kind of thing, or they don't have the freedom to do this kind of thing. I want to be able to see this person every day, but they have a lot on their plate consistently. That's not gonna work. Or I believe it's so easy to just be trusting, but they have a lot more issues that they haven't overcome yet. Therefore, it's gonna take a lot more work for them to fully get there. And it's important to start like pick up on these little things, because in the future it'll allow you to get that understanding before anything, before you get into that argument, before you get into that situation. It'll make it much easier to just overcome it. Now, some people don't have that dual mindset, kind of, and they're just strictly like sewed into their own mindset and their own position. So if you are in a conflict with that person that is only just like familiar with their own surroundings and they don't understand what it is to be on the other side of it, try not to it's okay if people are like that. You don't want to just get upset with them off the rip or just like refuse to show them or teach them anything because they quote unquote won't understand it. That's the importance of trying to get them to understand it, because people don't always know what's going on and people make mistakes constantly. Let's say, like, I'm pretty sure we all had a teacher before, and teachers make mistakes too, because teachers are human. They're not robots that just supposed to teach you everything in the book. No, they're teaching themselves too at times, and they're trying to just provide you with the knowledge that they've gained over the years and do it the best that they can. And most teachers aren't even 100%, like, informed with all the material. So I'm pretty sure, we've seen probably some of our teachers make mistakes in the past, and then we correct them. And we think, oh, it's the teacher. How you make the mistake? You should know how it is. Like I said, one, they're human, and two, you've never been a teacher before, most likely, so you don't know what it takes and how hard it could be to be a teacher. But like, same thing, they've been a student before. They had to be a student, obviously, so that they can be a teacher. They had to learn, but just because you learned it, just because you were a student, doesn't mean you mastered it. So it's still very easy for the person to also make mistakes, even if they've been on both sides. Like, parents, again, for instance, like, you would think, oh, you've been a child before, why don't you understand me, etc., etc. Maybe they didn't have the best childhood, or maybe their childhood is much different, so they may know the answers for the childhood that they had, but the one that they're trying to provide you, they don't really know how to do that yet. And that's why it's very important to try to be more lenient with people, more understanding, because you don't ever fully understand what someone else is going through, or what they got going on, or what they're dealing with, and so on. But the most important thing is trying, because as long as you're trying, you will get to the solution and you'll get to the place that you want to be. But if you're not trying the whole time, you're just constantly just trying to like win, get to understand your side, but refuse to understand their side, or maybe you're the kind of person just deflect everything and you don't even want to deal with the issue altogether. You won't get the solution that you desperately want deep down. Even if you don't say that you want it, you know good and well you don't want to be arguing, you don't want to be dealing with the situation, whatever. But it's important that you speak on it, because like I said, you're not speaking on it, not trying to speak on it, not trying to work through it is what's going to keep it long lasting and prolonging the issue, and then you might not even get to solve it. And that's why it's important to just try to work through everything and be able to try to see both sides of everything, because the less, like, think about it, if there are two sides to a problem and you're only worried about your side, you're only seeing half the issue. You're only seeing your 50%, meaning you lack a complete another 50% to the issue, the whole other missing piece. So if you're only worried about getting your piece out the way, you're still missing the other half. You need to understand what the other half is. You need to work with the other half. Otherwise, there's no solution. There's no problem solving. There's no fix. And it's not something that just naturally easy. Like I said, it takes a lot of experience, or something that might get the mindset of, or just some of it's still common sense. Like, yeah, some of it's common sense. Some of it's just like the general ideas and concepts that you experience over the courses of your life, to the point where it's like, okay, I could kind of understand A, B, C, and D, but there's still a bunch of things that you're not gonna understand yet. Like, yeah, you might understand like what this may feel like, but yeah, like I said, until you fully probably been in their shoes, you'll never fully grasp the idea, or if it's something that's just too complex to even like understand what that feeling could be, then until you've experienced it for yourself, you will forever have that like blind eye towards it. But that's gonna be all for this video. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.